case anybody wants to chat. The Hangout on Air is live, Blake.
We've done it. We've made it 2 weeks in a row. That's a pattern.
That's right. 2 months. 2 months.
That's what I meant. Two times. So yeah, that is 2 months.
I see Nick in the chat, and I see Austin in the chat. So we've got a few people here.
Nice.
And Nick says he's able to join via video. So I may throw him the link too and see if he wants to hop on with us.
The more the merrier.
How you been, man?
I've been good. Just I started a new job a few months ago, so time went fast. That's why I had the flub and said 2 weeks. I looked at my calendar and was like, "Oh snap, movie hangouts tonight." So
yeah. So what shall we talk about in this family meeting? What should the family meeting be about?
Well, I don't know what spoilers the assumption are, but I would. All right,
You all right?
Did you hear that? I just got like all of our feedback just kind of replayed that last second.
No, I didn't hear it.
That was weird. Anyways, I don't want to. I'm going to say this tentatively, so you can decide if we're going to talk spoilers
Maybe
at all.
I should put headphones on.
That's probably what. Yeah, that would make sense where the reverb came from.
Cool.
So, Aaron, when I got out of Wonder Woman, so I was going to Wonder Woman. I saw you tweet. You were going. I was like, well, it's Thursday. Aaron's dependable. Of course, he's going tonight. And I was with it the whole time. I was so ready to like this movie until the ending. And I want to get your thoughts on the ending because I don't know if that ending disqualifies me from liking it, but it took it from like I was going to give it an A-, dropped it to a B- in my opinion. And then I saw how everyone liked it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to see what Aaron thinks tomorrow when he releases. Because I think I get your review about an hour or two before I put out mine. And I was like, I'll know how fair this is. And when I saw that you liked it, I was like, oh no. And then here was the nail in the coffin. When Andrew liked it, I was like, oh no. Like, I mean, normally you're the optimist, Andrew's the pessimist. And I was like, how can I? So I'll admit by peer pressure, I moved it up from a B- to a B. But the question then becomes, what do we think of the ending? I'm kind of dancing around the spoiler.
Yeah, I don't want to do spoilers, because I'm not sure who all's watching. I guess we could ask Austin and Nick if they've seen it. But is there any way without spoiling you could kind of let me know?
Here's how we can talk about it. The ending of Superman, that's been out a while, and how that fight scene devolves into I'm going to hit you as hard as I can.
Right. Yeah.
And you're going to hit me, and it's not going to do.
We talked about that a little bit on the podcast. I think even in the non-spoiler section. And it didn't. I mean, yes, I'm tired of that like everybody else. But I don't know. There was just so much great stuff going on with the characters and with the message, and it was easy for me to overlook that. So
I guess I was being too much of a critic then. I was like, it was also weird. Well.
You're getting backup from Austin in the chat. He says he's seen it and gives it a 4 out of 5. CGI and slow-mo, as well as the ending, just pulled me out of it. Would have been a 5 out of 5 otherwise. So
that's cool. Well, I can live with that. It was also I'm still hearing that weird. Hey,
Stick. How's it going, man?
I'm all right.
Good. I'm glad you're able to join us.
Yeah, I've seen Wonder Woman today.
Oh, you saw it today? You saw it today?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Good.
I think I get your review about it.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any feedback except for I just heard a little bit coming from a speaker somewhere. Did you unplug your headphones?
So that was for me. I'm getting the feedback in mine now. It's real strange. It's like it's replaying our past audio.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Austin says he's hearing feedback now too, but I wonder if it was just that little bit when you unplugged it. Wow, it says 6 people are watching. I would love to know who's here. If you've got the chat up in front of you, if you're at the YouTube page, if you're at the Patreon page, you'll need to click to the YouTube page for the live chat. And then there should be a live chat up in the upper right corner of your screen that you can be able to chat at. I'd love to know who else is here so we can say, hey, answer any questions you have. Nick and Blake, if you guys have anything you want to ask me, feel free to throw it out. I love the fact that you guys can hop on video. You know, it's still a nice little tight-knit family right now. So, you know, once there's, you know, more people, which is always the hope, right? More people. Once there's more people, might not be possible, but I love having you guys here. So if you have any questions, let me know.
All right. So, have you seen The Lost City of Z?
No, I haven't seen Lost City of Z yet. It didn't come to the theater that either of the theaters I have partnerships with. And I only see movies at those theaters, both for financial reasons, also because I want to support them because they're supporting me. And so the only theater it came to, and in fact, I'm not even sure if it came to our art house theater, which I don't have a relationship with. But if it did, I didn't get a chance to go see it. So I'm excited for it to come out on digital or video, or maybe get a screener or something so I can check it out. I'm assuming you saw it?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. It's from James Gray. Have you seen the other movies? His other movies.
What else has James Gray done?
I believe The Immigrant and We Own the Night.
I saw We Own the Night. That was pretty impressive. I don't think I saw The Immigrant. So I'll be excited to check it out. I hear, you know, there's good buzz over the surface. Of course, I don't really look into movies until I actually see them. So I actually know nothing about what it's about. So, but, you know, I'll be excited to check it out.
Okay.
Austin in the chat says Lost City of Z, Slight and Gifted were ones he's regret missing so far this year. That's a good topic, like movies that you regret you haven't seen this year. Lost City of Z is definitely one for me. Gifted I saw. I would recommend Gifted. I thought Gifted was really good. Slight I didn't see. So do you guys have any movies you regret that you didn't get a chance to see so far this year? We're about halfway in.
Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Blake?
I still haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. I can't hear you anymore, Blake. I think we lost you. Blake is panicking. Anyhow, I could look at my, you know what I could do? I could look at my list to see, because I keep a spreadsheet of the ones that I get to see and the ones that I miss. So let me see if I can load that up. While Blake tries to get his sound back. So Nick, if you don't mind me asking, where do you live?
Brazil.
Oh, nice. Brazil.
Yeah.
Portuguesa.
Right.
Yep, I've been to Portugal once, but I've never been to Brazil.
So I got Guardians before you guys.
That's right, you did. That happens every once in a while. The international comes out first. All right, let's see. I'm not finding that. There have been a few that I've missed. Let's see. Austin says you don't need to worry about Alien Covenant.
All right.
I don't know. Did you like the Alien movies?
Alien, I haven't watched Aliens yet, or any other one.
I've seen Alien and Aliens. I've actually missed out on the others are on my list of shame, which means I haven't seen them. And
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Blake is
okay.
So yeah. So and I've seen Prometheus. Did you see Prometheus?
I don't know.
Okay. So Alien and Aliens are both really good, but they're different than Prometheus and Covenant. And I kind of like what Ridley Scott is doing with these new movies. They don't completely work, but it scratches an itch I have for world building. I love the way he's building out the world. They do have issues, but I enjoyed them. I enjoyed Alien Covenant even a little more than I did Prometheus, and I liked Prometheus more than most people did. But where did you fall on that, Blake?
I hadn't seen Prometheus, and I got scorched when I didn't like Alien. Here's the thing about Alien Covenant. It's the first time I've ever said to people, like, I don't like this movie, but I think it's probably a good movie. And I think if someone told me it was good, I'm not going to argue. Like, it was the most beautiful movie of the year, in my opinion. Like, I hope that movie wins some awards for cinematography. There was a few moments where it's just beautiful. But I couldn't connect to the characters. And my buddy told me that's just how Ridley Scott writes. He writes themes and then turns them into characters and like motifs and ideas. And he plays those kind of elements out rather than connecting you to the character. And so I think that's what threw me. I wanted to like it, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, no, you're kind of describing, no, not really, but somebody, Austin mentioned in the chat that he's getting ready to see A Cure for Wellness. I kind of had some of the same feelings with A Cure for Wellness where I'm like, this is gorgeous, like brilliantly shot and beautiful in one of the worst movies I've ever seen, which I don't think is what you were saying about Alien Covenant, but Cure for Wellness just, man, it did not hold together for me at all.
They couldn't decide what movie they were going to be, I don't think.
Yeah. Hey, David's here in the chat. He says, Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. So, which I believe, Willkommen is...
sounds German.
Well, it reminds me of like Swedish or Norway, like Scandinavian. It feels very Scandinavian to me. But no, that's German as well, isn't it? Yeah, I bet it is German.
I'm not sure. I took Latin, so... Well, this is cool that we're spanning the globe. It sounds like. So
yeah, yeah. And now that I think about, it, I think David may be German. I can't remember. So, but welcome, David. Thanks for coming along. So, yeah. I wonder who. So I know we've got you two and myself and David, and I wonder who the others are. But, anyways, so yeah. Any other questions you guys had?
What's the movie everyone's looking forward to the most that's left, and not like an obvious Star Wars kind of? I guess like, what's the movie everyone's looking forward to the most that is
other than Star Wars?
Yeah, well, yeah, right. Because I mean, that has to be your answer. So like, what's everyone looking forward to the most that's not Star Wars?
Oh, Jack's here too. Hey, Jack. Good to see you. He's in the chat. You know what? Those questions are really hard for me because I don't pay a lot of attention to what's coming up. The only time I research what's coming up is if I'm doing a most anticipated list, like for the summer or for the year or something like that. Again, it goes back to I want to be as pure as possible going into movies. And then I look up all the the stuff on them and the previews and those kind of things after I've seen them. The side effect of that is I really don't pay attention to anything other than the big stuff I know about that's coming up. So I'm not on news sites all the time, saying, oh, they cast this movie, or oh, like I like to be in the now as much as possible. So
well, how do you avoid trailer? I've always wanted to know, and how do you guys avoid trailers? Because I've tried to, but I mean, unless you get to your movie late, I mean, how do you avoid them?
That's what I do. I go to the movie late. Baby Driver was mentioned. Austin mentioned Baby Driver is one that he's looking forward to. I've heard that from a lot of people.
I've heard a lot of rumblings on that one.
Edgar Wright, I think. So yeah, the trailer thing. So I just started realizing that trailers usually last 15 minutes. It's almost exactly 15 minutes. So I will show up to my screenings about 10 minutes late, unless I'm going to IMAX Laser, because IMAX Laser actually doesn't show previews unless they're showing an IMAX Laser preview.
Whoa.
So yeah. So usually, if they have a preview, it'll just be one. So that's a different story. But in most theaters, just 15 minutes. So I'll show up about 10 minutes late, and then I will stand outside until I hear, like, how every theater has their little, jingly thing they play after all the previews and right before the movie starts. I know the theater's jingly thing really well, and so I wait to hear kind of mostly the bass line of that, because the bass is what comes through the door when it's closed, and then I go in and watch the movie. So just kind of hang out there, and people walk by and wonder what I'm doing, and I eventually go in. So one time I missed the first few seconds of a movie because I didn't catch that it started, but my wife was in there, and so she texted me. She was in the back row.
Okay, that answers the next question then. I was like, how do you get a seat then? But I'm assuming your wife's got the seats. That's a nice tag team right there.
It can be. Otherwise, it's really only the big ones that get sold out. So most movies, there's plenty of seats. And I also don't really care where I sit as long as it's not too close. Too close is annoying to me, especially close and off to the side, and especially close and off to the side on a giant screen. So, but otherwise, as long as I can get the whole field of vision, I'm fine sitting wherever, so it doesn't bother me too much.
You're less picky than me.
Jack says he's cautiously optimistic about Spider-Man: Homecoming. Loves superhero movies, but not sure if Sony and Marvel were able to play nice long enough to make a solid film. So we'll see about that. Yeah. What are you guys excited about Spidey?
Yeah, I really want it to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I like.
Go ahead.
Nicholas, you
Go
there?
ahead. Oh, maybe he froze.
He is in another country, far away. Come on, man. Your internet connection can push through.
That's pretty amazing. He's hanging out with us from Brazil. That's awesome.
I know. I was going to ask him what time it was.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. But although the time zone, Brazil is like straight south of us, right? So it could be pretty similar time zone.
It might be, yeah.
I like Tom Holland. So
yeah, Tom Holland has been so great.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, once I'm done watching, that's what I know for sure. So.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think Sony and Marvel I don't think this is going to be one of those movies where it's bad because they butted heads. Like, if they came together enough to make a movie together, I think that'll work in their favor. They're going to want it to be so good that I think they're going to be determined that it's good. Now, if that means studio executives get too pushy, who knows? But I'm cautious. I would say I'm optimistic.
Very cool. David says he thinks he's in the Atlantic zone, which is Rio. Atlantic. What is Atlantic time? Is that Eastern time? Is that Atlantic time, or is there another time zone past Eastern that's called Atlantic time?
Man, I did not take world geography 9th grade. I don't know. I have no clue.
If there's another one past Eastern, that means, and if he's in that one past Eastern, that means it would be 9:20 there.
Nice.
If that's the case, but I don't know that that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about most anticipated, I don't want to do those lists anymore. I did a list. I had The Girl with All the Gifts and The Circle on there, and I was embarrassed. I published that. People were like, "Sorry, guys, this wasn't that good."
That's all right. Baywatch was on my most anticipated list of the summer. So
you surprised me with that one, that not liking that, because I liked it. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I once I got past The Rock and Zac Efron, yeah. There was not much to like, and I gotta be honest, the shallowness of those other characters really bugged me, especially when they were they were so much eye candy and only eye candy. It was just like, I don't know, one of those things for me.
Let me hang on. Give me 30 seconds to sell you this movie. Okay. I think that the subtlety is where they win, because The Rock has that CB radio. You can tell he hates the police, not because he hates the police. I bet you he wanted to be a police officer. He probably tried. He failed. He's a lifeguard to try to achieve that dream. And then Zac Efron, with all that mentioning of being at the being an orphan initially, he just wanted a family. I felt like they gave enough character development without it being too pushy either to just subtly like build them. But I don't know. I was determined to love that movie, so maybe I just picked up on that more. But
there is a good movie buried underneath there somewhere. Like I said in the review, I loved the lifeguard superhero stuff. I thought that stuff worked really well. And I think if you focus on what you just said about The Rock's character, if his character development was that character development of longing, like you're talking about, I think that changes things a little bit. But yeah, it spent so much time on the raunchy humor that it just didn't need to. Like, I mean, those scenes went on so long, and it's like, I don't know. I maybe
It's
that was,
uncomfortable.
yeah, and it's not. And again, it's not even that I'm offended. It's just I think it's bad movie making. You know,
It's
like
cheap. There's
21 Jump Street has some raunchy jokes in it, right? I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not remembering specifically the ones, but if it does, it's not all the movie is about. It's a very quick paced, on to the next joke kind of thing, and it knows what kind of movie it is. I don't think Baywatch was willing to put itself fully in one way or another. It didn't want to be an all out, joke a minute comedy because it wanted to have some heart and emotion, but it didn't have enough of the storytelling gift to really make that heart and emotion work. So because it wanted to spend so much time on those certain scenes. So
yeah. I would almost compare it to like Trainwreck, Amy Schumer's movie, and then to her most recent stand-up on Netflix. Like one of those the comedy leans on, like the first one, it's smart comedy, and then the other one, it just leans on raunchiness. So I can definitely see how that would have been a little off-putting. I was just surprised that I loved Baywatch and hated Pirates. So I was that last week. It was just all confusing.
I
mean,
didn't
was
love Pirates. I just think it's the best one since the first one. I think it's better than 2, 3, and 4, but it's still not a great movie.
I resisted the urge to impulsively tweet, Aaron, this is a mistake. I mean, I left that movie mad. I haven't left a movie mad, and I don't know if I have. Hey, Nicholas is back.
Hey, he's back. Austin says his
Yeah, I don't know what
disappointments.
happened.
His disappointments this year are Alien Covenant, Beauty and the Beast, Logan, and Catfight. So Logan was not a disappointment for me, although I don't think I like it as much as everybody. I'm like not over the moon for it, but it was good. Beauty and the Beast I really enjoyed, so yeah, those were not disappointments for me.
Yeah, Logan's just suffering from the hype quality. Logan, it's still probably my favorite movie of the year, right next to John Wick and Get Out, but it's gotten hyped so much. It's tough for a movie to sustain that. So
yeah, yep. All right. What else? What else do you guys want to talk about?
Nicholas, do you got a question?
I mean, I have watched the 3 first Mad Max movies, so I was wondering, Aaron, what's your thought on Fury Road compared to the other ones?
I actually like Fury Road better than the other ones. Part of that is recency bias. They're just made better because movies are made better now. There's such a greater understanding of storytelling and effects and all that kind of stuff. It's, some of the worst movies made today are better than some good movies in an overall, if you rank every category kind of sense of the past, just because movie making gets better. Having said that, for their time, like if you did like what do they call that with money? Like adjusted for inflation? Yeah. So for quality inflation, if you adjust for quality inflation, the first Mad Max is mind-blowing. So it's hard to deny what that, because I don't remember when that came out, but it was quite an incredible thing. So, but I actually do like Fury Road. I think Fury Road's an incredible film.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
What do you think, Blake?
Yeah, so Aaron, being 24, there's a lot of old movies I haven't seen that are really great.
Yeah.
People burn me. That's why Sif Shame has recently resonated with me hard, because I haven't seen The Godfather, and so I haven't seen the other Mad Max movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really like the most current one. I mean,
Fury Road.
It was cast. Yeah, it was cast well. It felt like I mentioned with Baywatch, there was a lot of good subtle character building, I thought, in Fury Road. So
it's interesting you talk about being young and figuring out what movies to watch and going back and watching stuff that's way before you were born kind of thing. And a lot of those movies are before I was born too. Like Godfather's came out before I was born too. So my growing up, my parents really loved Hitchcock, and so I watched a lot of Hitchcock movies growing up that are, of course, way before my time and even more before your time. But it really gave me a respect for storytelling and using the camera to tell stories, because Hitchcock was, an absolute genius. So many of what you see in modern filmmaking is because Hitchcock invented it. He invented these shots. Orson Welles has a lot of that stuff in Citizen Kane too that has informed cinema a lot. But yeah, I think for me, when the have you ever read through AFI's 100 movies, 100 years list that came out like on the 100th anniversary of the first movie? Have you ever seen that list?
I haven't. That's a good list.
So AFI did the best 100 of the first 100 years of film. And when that list came out, I worked my way through everything on that list that I hadn't seen, just because I wanted to fill in those gaps. So I think it's a good idea to watch the classics and just make some time, and maybe once a week pick a classic and watch it. I think it'll inform your movie loving to a greater degree, to understand context, the context of these movies, and kind of where they come from.
Right.
But that's a normal thing. I mean, like with my kids, by the way, my oldest son is only like 5 years younger than you. So with my kids, like the first time they saw Star Wars, they were like, "Oh, they got that from Toy Story," because you don't even know, right? Like they don't know the order. They just So you don't know what you don't know, and you just have to learn that stuff and understand what comes from where. So
I'll have to grab that list then. And nowadays, Nicholas, I don't know if y'all have it over there, but Blockbuster had all the old movies, and then Redbox and Netflix kind of took Blockbuster out. So it's tough getting the old ones. But I'll have to look up AFI's list, because I mean, I legit have people tell me I can't review movies because I haven't seen
The Godfather?
Like Barrett got on me in SoundCloud about a month ago. It's like, you haven't seen Die Hard, when I was commenting with them. So I watched Die Hard, and that same thing happened with your kids. I was like, oh wow, these action sequences, I can see how that influenced other action sequences.
Right,
also,
exactly.
Bruce Willis has hair. What the heck?
I've seen a lot of Bruce Willis today. We had an M. Night marathon at my house today, so we watched Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and Signs, and so I saw a lot of Bruce Willis on screen today. Man, I haven't seen Sixth Sense in a while. That movie is even better than I remember. It holds up so well. It's probably been 5 or 6 years since I've seen it. And man, I'm so impressed with M. Night's early stuff. Sixth Sense and Unbreakable have to be the best 1-2 punch until Damien Chazelle came out with Whiplash and La La Land.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's some pretty incredible stuff. All right, AFI's list. You ready for this?
Yes.
Citizen Kane, number 1. Have you seen it? Either say yes or no.
I have my movie education from CinemaSins past years. Yeah. No.
No. Okay. Casablanca, number 2.
Nope.
Okay. Godfather, number 3.
No. Almost.
Almost. Gone with the Wind, number 4.
Yeah.
No.
Lawrence of Arabia, number 5.
No, I've never even heard of that one.
Mm.
Lawrence of Arabia?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, when the list came out, I hadn't seen Lawrence of Arabia. I watched it when this list came out. It is spectacular, especially considering they filmed it in the desert. And it was 1962. I don't have that memorized. It's right here in front of me. 1962. And, it was just this crazy new thing to see these, landscapes on these huge screens and stuff. So I think it gets a lot of respect for that, because actually the story for me was a little bit slow, but it is gorgeous. Wizard of Oz at number 6.
Yes. Nicholas, no.
No.
The Graduate at number 7.
Haven't heard of that one.
That's Dustin Hoffman. That's Mrs. Robinson, You're Trying to Seduce Me.
I'm recognizing the names of those, but yeah.
Okay. On the Waterfront, number 8.
Nope.
And then the first more recent movie, although still, how old are you, 24?
Yeah.
So you were born in 93?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep, that was quick math.
This came out the year you were born. Number 9, Schindler's List.
I watched that freshman year in history.
Yeah.
But I couldn't appreciate it at the time. I need to rewatch it, although I don't know if I could take it.
Number 10 is my favorite movie of all time. Came out in 1952. Do you know my favorite movie of all time?
I need to print off your top 100. That would be another one to start watching. No. Oh, wait. Singing in the Rain. Singing in the Rain.
Yep. Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
Number 10. It's a Wonderful Life at number 11, another great movie.
Every Christmas.
Yeah. Sunset Boulevard at number 12. Let's see if we can go down. I don't want to like read all through the whole 100. Star Wars is at number 15.
Of course.
So,
Yes.
That look he gave us, Nicholas, if we hadn't seen that, that ended.
Psycho at number 18, Hitchcock's highest ranking movie. Let's see, something else that's more recent. E.T. at number 25.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then, yeah, a lot of older movies. Some more Hitchcock. Rear Window, North by Northwest are both on there. Both great movies.
Rear Window I love.
Yeah, Rear Window is so good. Jaws is on there, 48. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Where do you find your old movies? Because I mean, if they're not on Amazon or Netflix or Hulu, and you're not going to buy them, it's like, where do you get them?
It's a great question. I've had them forever. You can find. I'm sure you can find them on Amazon. I mean, of course, you're probably talking about streaming,
right? See, I don't buy movies. Most movie lovers I know, they buy movies. I only buy movie if it's rewatchable. So,
yeah. If you just want to stream it once, the only way is probably illegal ways.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
So yeah, I don't know. This is one of my things with streaming is they really need to somebody needs to figure out how to be the Spotify of movies, where almost every single movie is on there. It's one monthly, price. You could, if somebody came along and had the percentage of media that Spotify has of music, you could charge easily $20-$30 a month for that, and people would jump at it. Like that would be like, let's say you had, I think this is where it's going. I think at some point you'll have a streaming service that collaborates everything, that's like $20 a month for movies, and one that's like $20 a month for television or something. And it'll be about $40 a month, and you can have access to all the media, and that's just the way it'll happen. Because because when stuff's not available, people are left to either torrent it or figure out a weird site to go get it at, and get a whole bunch of viruses on their computer and go from there.
Maybe the Circle will get it all together for us.
That's right. Please, Mr. Hanks, please.
I think what is going to push it to this, and I would love to get y'all's thoughts on this, is that these Amazon Fire Sticks, I know people that they're able to, like, it compiles. You have to break out of the Amazon Fire Stick. It's like a jailbreaking an iPhone. Once you jailbreak your Fire Stick, you can watch movies that are being played in the theater right now, because it compiles all of the illegally filmed movies in the theater and puts it on there. And I'm like, oh no, just from my economics background in college, this is horrifying. And so they're gonna, what you're saying, someone's gonna have to step up soon, or otherwise it's all gonna go bonkers. So
yeah, well, it's not, I mean, it's not hard to get everything via torrent or whatever. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to make it easy, make it reasonable, and figure it out. But everybody wants their own streaming service. That's the problem. HBO wants their own streaming service. ESPN wants their own streaming service. Everybody, and we can't pay $10 a month to 40 different people.
You don't have $400 laying around, Aaron?
No, not every month.
You don't let Fox Go
for instance, Poker Go. I'm a huge poker guy, and the World Series of Poker is going on right now. They just announced all the World Series streaming is going through this app called Poker Go. It's $10 a month just to watch live poker. I'm going, how do you expect this to make any sense?
Yeah.
If they all were like $1 or $2 a month, maybe. But somebody's got to put them all together, put all the money in the same place, and then distribute it based on what's being watched, or because that's how Spotify does it. It's it's based on streams. It's based on how many people hit that stream. So I don't know. Somebody needs to figure it out. But
well, maybe that someone is us, and we just all made $1 million.
Do it, man. Do it, man. I've missed my opportunity. I'm too old. I've got one foot in the grave.
I'm I'm still taking that idea in from last time about conglomerating all of the critics, because I'm meeting more and more, just hanging out on Instagram. I'm meeting way more critics than I knew even existed. So I'm not giving that one up. I think,
Yeah.
because there will be times when if I don't like a movie, I'll be like, oh, well, you should listen to this critic. And so I think that one's still a winner too.
It's good stuff going on in the chat. Kind of catch up with the. Austin says he's seen about 15 of the 100 of AFI's 100. Let's see. Signs is one of Jack's favorite movies. I really do like Signs. That's my third favorite M. Night film. Austin says Poker Go. Yeah, no. I agree.
Wordplay.
David says just ask your children and grandchildren to download them. I don't have grandchildren yet. Let's be clear. I mean, it could happen soon. Who knows? Several of my boys are of childbearing age, but
oh boy,
not yet.
Gracious.
I don't have them yet. Yeah, they could make babies if they want to. Thankfully, I don't think they really want to right now. So yeah, Spotify even gets exclusive albums. Yeah, see, that's the whole thing. Once you figure it out, I think it can make a lot of sense, but who knows? All right, anything else? We've got 7 people watching. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you being here, hanging out with us. Feel free to hop into the chat.
I mean, I guess I had a question I wanted to ask that we could end on, but I don't know if this breaks your not anticipating rule. That's fine. Is that, can War for the Planet of the Apes do what the first 2 did, which is first one, you're like, nah, this can't be good. This is going to be terrible. Amazing. Second one, no way they can follow that. This is amazing. Like, can it do it a third time? How difficult would that be?
No, it can't, because the first part won't work. I don't think there's anybody going to the new one that's left that's expecting it not to be good. I think people are expecting it to be good. So it doesn't have that first part of the equation. I think it could be amazing. In fact, I anticipate it will be amazing because the first 2 were so good. But yeah, I don't think there's anybody. I mean, who's left to surprise? I don't think anybody's going to be surprised that it's great, right? I mean,
no, you're right.
Am I missing the chatter, or is there chatter that it's going to be awful?
No. I haven't heard anyone say it's going to be bad that I would believe yet. But it's that I guess then they're just going to have to double down on the first one, which is, or the second half of that statement, and just be extra phenomenal. But man, it's really good you haven't seen the trailer, because now I have an inner Aaron in my mind. If I see a trailer that's real bad, I'm like, oh man, he would hate that. And I saw their second one, and I was like, oh man, Aaron would hate that because I hate it. And if I hate it, he probably like, what's worse than hate? I don't know, but I don't know.
Loathe
it.
Yeah, I mean, trailers. Here's the thing, right? People pretend like they can know if a movie's going to be good or not by a trailer. Guess what? You can't. Period. A trailer tells you nothing. It really doesn't. Think of the amazing trailers you've seen for awful movies and awful trailers you've seen for amazing movies. Like, if a trailer is amazing and the movie is amazing, it's happenstance. Honestly, I really believe this. I don't think you can tell a thing about a movie from a trailer, because it is a different short film version of the same material that's going to be a long form movie. So they're designed to tickle your senses, not to tell you a story.
Yeah, I wish that trailers would just primarily use a song, like all the times when it uses like a song or just some deep. Basically, when it conveys how you're going to feel rather than showing you what you're going to see. That's the best trailers to me. And so I want to feel what I'm going to feel at this movie, not see it. Because yeah, when you see it out of sequence, none of it makes sense, and it just spoils some good scenes. Because if you see movies all the time, you remember some of those trailers, and you at the movie you're thinking, okay, well this hasn't happened, so it can't be over yet, or whatever.
Someday.
Happened
Go ahead.
In Rogue One, I was just sad that there wasn't any of the scenes of the trailer in the movie.
Yes. That moment when she turns and looks back in that armor and he says, "What will you become?" That was the best trailer of 2016 for me. I loved it. And yeah, scene wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't there. So I forget what I was going to say. Oh, someday my dream is that somebody hears my idea for Zero Frames Productions and does a movie studio that their gimmick is that they release movies with only giving you the director, the actors, the genre, and the rating. And that's all you get. No, you don't get any story
No movie
elements.
poster?
No. The movie poster, I guess you could do subtle movie posters, sure. You could figure out how to do movie posters with that. But the trailers would be, you know, people talking about their experience with it. That gives nothing away if there were trailers. Or I don't think you need trailers. I think there's enough of a system in our culture right now. This is its own marketing. So if you do this and you're first to it, I think there's some pretty amazing things that could happen, because I think your opening weekend could be killer strong. Like, let's just, if I just said Spielberg's doing a movie with, these actors, and it's a crime noir, and that's all like, I'm there, man. Like, I don't need to know anything else,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just one studio. I'm not saying every movie from every studio. I'm saying if there would be like a Zero Frames, productions company that, like, that was their gimmick, and they released one movie every year and nobody knew anything about it until it hit theaters. I think that could be something cool.
Oh yeah, man. I work at a marketing agency, and so thinking about dripping those kind of things out, the anticipation is what would build, and the blogging world would lose their mind with that. Every time you gave just a crumb, they would go crazy. I think that could work.
Yeah. So somebody, my dream is somebody hears that idea and then runs with it, because I'm doing other things, so I don't have time to build a movie production.
Only so many hours in the day.
Right? So, well, cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the time hanging out. Nick, I'm so glad you got to hang out via video, man. It's good to meet you. Good to see you and chat with you a little bit. Blake, good to see you again. You're kind of the official, like, MC of these family meetings now, so nice to have you along. Jack, David, Austin, thanks for hopping in the chat and making the chat live. These, by the way, if you miss a month, I will leave these up on YouTube unlisted, which means if you go to the Patreon link, you'll be able to watch these because they'll still be up. Just nobody else can access them unless they have the link. So keep the link to yourself, but other than that, you can go, check them out, those kind of things. So, and who knows, maybe down the road, like, I don't know, I guess I could make them public like 3 months later or something, although I don't think I will. I think I like it just kind of us, in the family kind
of thing. They get zero frames unless they're in the Patreon.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for actually giving dollar bills to help me do what I do. It's a very humbling thing to know that you guys are supporting what goes on at your movie friend, and some of you also Studio DNA, which is mind-blowing. So thank you, and I really appreciate you guys. I look forward to these. So anything else before we close out? All right. Austin says patrons get those perks.
Patrons get them perks.
That's right, they do. All right, guys. Peace out. Nick, Blake, thanks for hanging out in video. Everybody else, thanks for chatting. We'll catch you first Monday in July. May be tricky for me because I'll be coming back from vacation, so it may be second Monday in July, but I'll let you know for sure as we get closer. So
sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.